morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Akal. The top stories first. Government decides to purchase fertilizer from Bangladesh. Cabinet decides to remove excise duty on import of books. Coronavirus cases climbs to 197,000 in Nepal. More than 2,500 new cases reported yesterday. India's Foreign Secretary to visit Nepal in late November. This is the third high-profile visit from India in recent weeks. UK government suffers parliamentary defeat over Brexit bill. Northern Ireland to remain under some EU rules. And top managers blame the 3 substitute rule for muscular injuries to players. Congested fixture list, another reason for the problem. And now the news in detail. The government has decided to purchase chemical fertilizer from Bangladesh instead of borrowing them from the neighboring country. A meeting of the Council of Ministers yesterday took a decision to this effect. Earlier, the government had decided to borrow chemical fertilizer from Bangladesh after facing acute shortage of urea during the plantation season. But due to the dilly-dallying of Bangladesh, the cabinet finally decided to purchase the much-needed fertilizers under G2G deal, although the harvesting season is about to end. The cabinet meeting also decided to establish Nepal's own plant to manufacture fertilizers. The Council of Ministers has also removed the excise duty imposed on import of books. Similarly, the cabinet has also decided to reduce the monthly salary of sitting ministers by 50% till mid-April. The deducted amount will be deposited in the fund set up to prevent COVID-19 in the country. Another decision taken by the Council of Ministers is to procure COVID-19 vaccine through the G2G deal. The government yesterday confirmed 2,571 new cases of coronavirus during the latest round of tests. According to spokesperson at the Health Ministry, Dr. Jageshwar Gautam, the disease has infected a total of 197,024 people in the country so far. The Health Ministry informed that 159,724 patients have recovered from the disease, while the number of active cases across the country has increased to 36,174 from the overnight tally of 35,419. Meanwhile, the death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 1,126 in Nepal following the confirmation of 18 new deaths across the country. Nepal is currently among the top 34 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. Chief Minister of Far Western Province Trilochan Bhatta has directed hospitals to leave no stones unturned while treating coronavirus infection. Chief Minister Bhatta has also directed all hospitals of the province to add oxygen bed. Speaking with the press yesterday, Minister Bhatta informed the press that he has taken updates about the infection rate in the province and the medical equipment available to treat the infection. All hospitals have been directed to build additional infrastructure considering bigger risk in future, Minister Bhatta informed.
प्रदेश सरकारले उपचारमा कुनै कमी राख्दैन र आम जनतालाई पनि मेरो आग्रह के हो भने सचेत हुनु जरुरी छ, ध्यान दिनु जरुरी छ। भइहाल्यो भने उपचार गर्नको लागि प्रदेश सरकार तयार छ।
Health Director of Far Western Province, Dr. Gunaraj Awasthi, informed progress has been made in managing the health infrastructure of the province.
अगाडि कसैलाई पनि थाहा थिएन यस्तो अवस्था आउँछ भनेर नेपालमै थिएन बिस्तारै सुदूरपश्चिममा आयो अस्पतालहरु बन्यो उपचार गर्ने व्यवस्था भयो आईसीयू भेन्टिलेटर सबै बन्यो सरकारको प्रयास के हो भने आवश्यकता अनुसार पूर्ति गर्ने हो अब अहिले सेतीमा महाकालीमा टिकापुर अस्पतालमा 50-50 शय्याको एउटा निर्माण भएको छ, त्यहाँ काम भइरहेछ। डडेलधुरामा छ। हरेक जिल्ला अस्पतालहरूमा हाम्रो सुदूरपश्चिममा झन्डै 310 ठाउँ चाहिँ आइसोलेसन बेडहरू छन्, जहाँ अक्सिजन मुख्य चाहिने भने अक्सिजन हो। हरेक अस्पतालमा हामी कहाँ अक्सिजन छ। त्यो बाहेक
The Interaction Program Chief of Public Health Department, Narendra Kartik of Social Welfare Ministry, also expressed his views regarding the conditions of hospital in the province during the Interaction Program with Chief Minister Bhatta. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. India's Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla is arriving in Nepal in late November for an official visit. The Indian Foreign Secretary is scheduled to visit Nepal within 3 weeks after the high-level visit of Indian Army Chief Manoj Mukund Narvane. The Indian Army Chief had arrived in Nepal on November 4th for a 3-day visit at the invitation of his Nepali counterpart, General Purna Chandra Thapa. According to the Hindustan Times, Shringla is visiting Nepal to revitalize the relations between Nepal and India that has soured in the recent years. However, the government of Nepal has not mentioned anything about the Indian Foreign Secretary's visit. During his visit, Shringla will be meeting Nepal's Foreign Secretary Bharat Paudel, Foreign Minister Pradeep Gyawali, Prime Minister KP Oli, President Vidya Devi Bhandari and other high-ranking officials. Recently, India's intelligence wing chief Samant Kumar Goyal had unexpectedly visited Nepal and held meetings with Prime Minister Oli. The first national consensus after the country adopted the federal system is scheduled to begin from 8th June 2021 next year. With the slogan, "My Consensus, My Participation," the national consensus is set to begin from June next year. Central Statistics Bureau yesterday organized a program and informed that they will reach out to more than 7 million families during the data collection procedure for the consensus. The Director General of Bureau, Navinlal Shrestha, informed that census has to be carried out using reliable data and statistics, as it is the first census after the country adopted federalism. The Bureau has prepared 80 questions for the census so far, Shrestha further said. The census takers will ask these questions to families across the country. The Bureau will publish a vacancy for selecting suitable census takers in few days, the Bureau informed. The census takers will be trained for a few months before the data collection procedure actually begins. This time, the census will collect economic details along with agricultural and animal farming data. The forms have already been printed for the census. According to the central body, the 7 million homes to account to total 30 million population of Nepal. The Bureau has also started preparations for setting up provincial census office in the future. Chief of the Kathmandu Metropolitan City, Vidya Sundar Sakya, has said that the city will make arrangements to provide food to the people who are struggling due to coronavirus pandemic. In the meeting of the Industry, Commerce, Labour and Consumer Welfare Committee of the Parliament, Mayor Sakya said feeding the people in the open theatre will be continued but in a managed manner. He added that no one will have to beg for food and added that anyone struggling to make ends meet will be provided for by the metropolis. Mayor Sakya further added that instead of playing the blame game, everyone involved should share the responsibility to feed those who are in need. Mentioning that half a dozen organizations are currently feeding people in the open theatre, he said that the organizations and individuals who are involved have been requested to choose a closed place so that it becomes easy for the people to eat the provided food. And now the news from the economic front. The second trading day of the week, Monday, saw NEPSE index rise by 4.22 points to reach 1,652.80. However, the sensitive index, which measures the Class A market indices, fell by 0.61. The indices for commercial banks, hotels, development banks, hydropower, life insurance and mutual funds saw some drops, while all other indices rose in the market. A total of 1.35 million shares of 195 companies were traded 41,049 times in the market, resulting in a turnover of rupees 3.69 billion. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. The British government suffered a fresh Brexit setback in Parliament late on Monday over controversial legislation that would have allowed it to override parts of the country's EU divorce treaty. According to AFP, members of the unelected upper chamber House of Lords rejected key provisions of the Internal Market Bill, which is designed to regulate trade between all four UK nations. The government has insisted the bill provides a safety net in case talks for a new trade agreement fail, even though it admits it breaks international law in a very specific and limited way. But the Lords voted overwhelmingly to remove clauses relating to Northern Ireland, which will have the UK's only land border with the EU from January 1st and will remain under some of the bloc's rules. A no deal could complicate the situation on the island and its politically sensitive border between UK-ruled Northern Ireland and EU member Ireland. According to AFP, a government spokesman said after Monday's vote that the removed clauses would be reintroduced when the bill goes back to the House of Commons, where Prime Minister Boris Johnson has a comfortable majority. The Trump administration threw the presidential transition into turmoil on Monday, AP reported. According to the news agency, Attorney General William Barr authorized the Justice Department to probe allegations of voter fraud, and President Donald Trump fired the Pentagon chief. Trump also reportedly blocked government officials from cooperating with President-elect Joe Biden's team. Despite little evidence of fraud, Barr signed off on an investigation into the unsubstantiated claims made repeatedly by Donald Trump. Even as Biden began assembling experts to face the surging pandemic, the federal agency that needs to greenlight the beginnings of the transition of power held off on taking that step. And the White House moved to crack down on those not deemed sufficiently loyal as Trump continued to refuse to concede the race. Top Republicans largely refused to put widespread pressure on Trump to accept his election loss. He remained out of sight at the White House, conversations ongoing about how the defeated president would spend the coming days and weeks as he challenged the people's verdict. The ouster of Defense Secretary Mark Esper was expected by some aides to be the first of several firings by Trump. Others believed to be vulnerable are FBI Director Christopher Wray, CIA head Gina Haspel, and infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci, according to AP. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. A growing number of managers are not happy they can only make 3 substitutions in the 2021 Premier League after being allowed 5 when last season resumed. The Premier League is the only major competition to return to 3 substitutions per game this season. Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp, who has seen his side lose key players to injuries this season, said the decision to revert back to 3 substitution rule is partly responsible for a spat of muscular injury across top flight. Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola agreed to the statement, citing injuries to his players as well. Clubs have the power to bring motions forward for a vote. However, it is unlikely any club would pursue that unless they were certain of changing the current situation. The matter has also been put to the 20 clubs twice, and on neither occasion did the proposal get the minimum requirement of 14 clubs to support it, reported BBC. On the last occasion, 11 clubs were in favor of the rule. Football in Spain, Germany and rest of Europe has been using the 5 substitution rule this season as well. Defending champions Mumbai Indians will face rivals Delhi Capitals in the finale of IPL 2020 tonight. The Indian Premier League that began on 20 September 2020 this year after 59 games and plenty of tightly contested matches will come to an end at the Dubai International Stadium. Defending Mumbai Indians will seek to retain their title. The Rohit Sharma-led side has maintained red-hot form throughout the 2020 season. This became evident when Mumbai Indians thrashed Delhi Capitals by 57 runs in the Qualifier 1 on Thursday to enter the final of IPL 13. While Mumbai will make every effort to bring their 5th IPL trophy home, Shreyas Iyer-led Delhi Capitals will look forward to secure its first. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Government decides to purchase fertilizer from Bangladesh. Cabinet decides to remove excise duty on import of books. Coronavirus cases climbs to 197,000 in Nepal. More than 2,500 new cases reported yesterday. India's Foreign Secretary to visit Nepal in late November. This is the 3rd high-profile visit from India in recent weeks. UK government suffers parliamentary defeat over Brexit bill. Northern Ireland to remain under some EU rules. And top managers blame the 3 substitute rule for muscular injuries to players. Congested fixture list, another reason for the problem. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.